Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is Bookmas Day 8, and we are going to be talking about hot bookish takes. At least I think these are hot bookish takes. I'm not sure. Maybe some of these are a popular opinion and I'm just behind the curve, but these are opinions that I have about books and or book related things. So do not take any of these personally. If you think the opposite of some of my opinions, that is totally fine. That's what makes the world go round. So let's start off with number 1. You'll never catch me buying a bookmark. I will never buy a bookmark. I don't care what is on the bookmark. I am not paying for one. I have a million bookmarks. You get them for free everywhere. They are just little pieces of paper. You can find a substitute, even if it has something really cute or something in your fandom. I don't care. I don't think you need them. If you're that desperate, I feel like you could print your own. And I understand buying one is much easier than designing and printing or whatever. But to me, you'll never catch me buying a bookmark. I mean, we get them for free everywhere. You literally get them for free at every bookstore, or at least every independent bookstore you go to. And you accumulate them, and you can only use one per book. And how many books are you reading at the same time? I mean, even if you're one of those very ambitious people that read 5, 6 books at the same time, I'm sure you have 5 or 6 bookmarks laying around. So that is my number 1. I will never buy a bookmark. Hot take number 2, and this is kind of timely because we are rolling into the holiday season. You do not need the Amazon Color Soft. Let me repeat. You do not need the Color Kindle. You don't need it because the only reason that you're looking at your Kindle that works perfectly fine and thinking about buying a whole other Kindle is because they just launched the new Color Soft and the new Color Kindle. And let me tell you, you cannot stare at the cover of your books. You use the Kindle to read the pages. So are your pages colored? No. Unless you're reading some kind of book with pictures. Even then, I'm not sure quite how that works, if they are colored photos or not. But even if they are, how often are you reading books with pictures inside of it? And how long are you looking at those pages? You don't need a Color Soft. If you are in need of an upgrade and you need a new Kindle, fine, go for it. But I don't think you need to get rid of the Kindle that works for a Color Soft. That's just my opinion. You don't use your Kindle to look at the book covers. You use your Kindle to read. And those pages will still be black and white. We're going to say no to the Color Soft for now. Maybe if you need an upgrade, but I don't think you need to throw out your perfectly good Kindle for the Color Soft just because of the color photos. Also, I have seen a lot of reviews on those Kindles, and there's a lot of problems with like a yellow bar or something at the bottom, and it's not even that colorful. Like, it's a very, very faded color. It's not vibrant colors. And you would think we're in 2024 rolling into 2025 with the amount of money that Amazon makes, you'd think they'd be able to have the technology to make the colors more vibrant by now, but you're still getting very pastel washed out colors. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. Next bookish hot take. I will never, ever, ever buy a book for sprayed edges. One, I'm not a big person on collecting the same book over and over and over again, unless it's like some kind of like lifelong goal of yours, so be it. But some people are collecting multiple editions for multiple books and buying a book based on new sprayed edges. Honestly, I get it. They're aesthetic when you see them in the bookstore and you see them sitting on the table. But when you put them in your bookshelf, do you see those edges? Are you, unless you're one of those people that are displaying their books edges out, that's a whole other thing to talk about. If you're one of those people that put your edges out, how do you know which book is which book? Some of the sprayed edges are just like ombre colors or just a wash of colors. If you have a whole shelf of them or multiple shelves of them, how do you know which book is which book? And then if you're like the majority of people and you put your books in and your binding is facing out, then do you ever see those sprayed edges? No, you never see them. Moral of the story, don't buy a book based on sprayed edges. If the book that you want to buy happens to have sprayed edges, or it's an added bonus because there's a sprayed edged option that's like the same price, go for it. But if you're buying an additional book just because they came out with a sprayed edge option, or you're buying a book just because you saw the sprayed edges and you think it's really pretty and cute, maybe think about long term. Think about if you're ever going to see those sprayed edges in your bookshelf. And if you are one of those people that is going to face it out, go for it. But if you're one of those people that you're going to just have the book binding faced out and you're never going to see those edges, then think about if you need to buy that book because of the edges. Another opinion that I have based closely to the sprayed edges is I don't like a deckled edge. Have you seen those books where it's kind of like fuzzy and like all of the pages are different lengths and it almost looks like it was torn, like the paper was torn off the edges? I don't like a deckled edge. I know some people really like it and some people like the feeling of it. I don't like it. I think they collect dust in them and they get extra dusty and it's not uniform across all of my books, so I will pass on a deckled edge. I don't need it. And then another hot take that I have, and this has really become clear to me this year reading some long fantasy series. If you are writing a fantasy or any kind of book series, and there are going to be multiple books, and you have books that are longer than 500, 600 pages, you need to rethink. You need to maybe think about editing because honestly, there are very, very, very rare cases where a book in a series should be more than 600 pages because there are multiple books in that series for you to fill out your story. So if you're going to have these 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 pages, I don't know if it's necessary. I think maybe you need to edit. I think maybe you can cut out some pages. Unless, like I said, you're the exception. There's plenty of exceptions out there. But I feel like it's become a trend now that if you're writing popular, mostly fantasy series books, that you think that you need to have really long books and really fill it out and talk about every little nitty-gritty character. You don't. You don't need to. And I know some people like the long books because they feel like it helps them get emotionally invested in something because they're with these characters longer. I think you just need to write your characters better then. And you need to do some editing between the lines to make that happen. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. My opinion can be changed. That's why it's an opinion. It can change over time. But these are kind of just my fun hot takes that I have right now. If you disagree, that's totally cool. I follow and love so many content creators that think the total opposite of me, and that's okay. That's what makes the community so fun, and that's what makes books so fun, is not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody likes the same things. So those are my little bookish hot takes. Let me know if you agree with them, if you think there's some exception that I didn't mention to some of them, or things that I haven't brought up or I didn't think of. I would love to hear it. I'm always open to everybody's thoughts and opinions because I am easily malleable. I can change my mind like this. So please let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in my next book video.